Have you ever looked at your life and I thought I would be further along by now? Yep, that was me. Guess not. In this video, we'll be talking about dealing with disappointment, dealing with unmet expectations, maybe feeling like a failure or feeling like you should be further along in life, because that was me a couple of weeks ago. Leading up to my birthday, I had a whole host of emotions, and I had not felt those emotions for a while, and I couldn't recognize what they were. And we're just going to have a chat, just me and you, about how to deal with failure, how to recognize those feelings and what to do with them. In a world that's full of social media, you literally look on your phone, scroll, couple of scrolls, swipe to the left, swipe to the right, and you will see people's lives, people's expectations, what's happening in people's lives, people's journeys, people are getting married. There is so much that social media has exposed us to, and sometimes it can be easy to look at or have an idea of where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. The typical, I'm supposed to be married at 25, I'm 30, what's going on? I'm supposed to have children by the time that I'm 30, but I'm now 34, what's going on? I haven't been to university, and typically people go to university between 18 and 20. What is going on? No matter what the expectations of society are, sometimes the truth is we just don't fit the mold that society has for us, and that may be our own fault, or that may be the fault of one other like there may just be extenuating circumstances to it. So what do you do when life doesn't go the way that you want it to, or what do you do when you aren't where you thought that you would be? So picture this. A couple of weeks ago, it was my birthday, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was my birthday. And leading up to it, I started feeling very uneasy. I'm not an uneasy kind of, I'm just usually so busy to even feel uneasy. Like I'm a very goal-driven, go-getter kind of person. And I started feeling uneasy, and I couldn't recognize what it was, but I just felt like, oh, this was weird. I don't know what it is, but I'm just too busy. And it was this niggling feeling, just like, I don't know, just uneasiness. And I couldn't pinpoint it, didn't really know what it was. And eventually I just sat down and I was actually praying. I was like, why do I feel like this? And what is this? And I realized the more that my birthday was coming on, I realized that I was actually not looking forward to my birthday. I've never really been a big birthday celebration, but actually for the first time I was having a birthday event, a birthday party. But like the thought of that was it just made me feel sick, if I'm being honest. And I was just journaling, so I was like, I don't know what this feeling is. And I realized that when I started journaling and writing, I realized that I actually don't want my birthday to come, because I feel like I haven't achieved the things that I said I wanted to achieve in the previous year. So why am I celebrating this new year? Because I haven't done what I wanted to do. And there are two things in particular that I know that I was supposed to do. Like I know in the pits of me that I was supposed to do, and I hadn't done it. And I was looking back and reflecting, like, well, why did, like, you had time, you had the opportunity, everything was there. It's not even like I didn't have the resources. I had the time, I had the ability, I should have, and then I didn't. And that feeling just like knocked the wind off me, because I was like, well, what excuse do I have? I can't blame society, I can't blame anybody but myself. And I really felt really, really discouraged and really, really down, because when I tell you, I know, have you ever known, like, no, you're supposed to be doing this. This is the path that you're supposed to be on, and this is what you're supposed to be doing at this time, and you just don't do it. And that was me. I knew that I was supposed to do or have done this thing, and I hadn't done it. And that really, really, really affected the go-getter in me, because I for the first time I hadn't done what I was supposed to do, and I knew that it was my fault. So what did I do? I was wallowing. I was like, oh, woe is me. I'm going to cancel my birthday party. What's the point of the new year, the fresh new year, when I haven't even done, like, how is God supposed to entrust me with all of this stuff if I'm not doing what he's calling me to do? That lasted about a day, maybe a day and a half. And I remember having a conversation with my husband. He was like, you have a fresh new year to do all of these amazing things. Like, can you get out of your feelings? This is what he said. He was like, yeah, okay. You can wallow for a little bit, but like, okay, get out of your feelings. You have things to do. You've got missions to do, assignments to do, like, and I had to snap out of it. But the reality of it is that this is these are the things and the things that we go through every day. These are the feelings that we go through every day. And even though you might not come and verbalize it and vocalize it like I'm doing on the whole wide web, but what do you do when you feel disappointed, when you feel like a failure, when you feel like your life isn't moving the way that you want it to move, when you feel like other people are progressing and you're not progressing at the same pace, or you're just not where you're supposed to be? And the first thing that I did was actually just after I wallowed, or after I finished wallowing, was really like I had to have a conversation with God. First of all, I was like, God, I'm really sorry that I didn't do this thing that you told me to do. Despite all the resources, everything, I didn't do it. And I really had to go before God and like just repent and apologize and fix my life and have a conversation, because I was like, I feel these things. I don't want to feel it. Okay, I'm on it. And then I started reflecting on why I didn't do it. And I realized that I just had way too much on my plate. I was prioritizing and focused on a whole lot of things. And I just didn't have the capacity mentally and physically to do this thing, because I was just juggling so many balls. And the thing is, when you juggle too many things, you're eventually going to drop something. And I dropped that one or a couple of things. So going into the new year, before I got into my birthday, I took an inventory of my life, of my time, of all the things that I was doing and what I wanted. And I just realized that I had to drop something. Sometimes you're going to have to drop a couple of things. You're going to have to prioritize and re-strategize when things aren't going the way that you want it to. It's no point sweeping things under the rug, which is what we tend to do. We pretend like it doesn't exist and we're walking like everything's okay, instead of dealing with the actual like issue, or dealing with the thing that's bothering us, and we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, when we can actually just like let that go, give it to God, and then start moving forward. So after re-strategizing, I realized I don't have the capacity and the time to do that. So I had to look at my day, look at my time, look at what was taking my time, and realize there's no way I can do it. So I had to put some things down for a time and for a season, and really like commit the next couple of months to just focusing and prioritizing on what would be important in this year before picking up these other things. And that was really hard, if I'm being honest, because I get really bored doing one thing. Like that, I find that so boring. I like to like dip my foot in here and then dip my foot in here and then do this and this, and which is the reason why I hadn't done it, because I like to just So I put everything down and prioritized, and I just said, I'm going to focus on one thing for 3 months. Everything else is not a priority. And I really had to get it in my head. Everything else is not a priority. This one thing is the thing that I'm focusing on. Obviously, outside of my family priorities and work and everything, this is the one thing that I'm focusing on. This is my egg. Like, this is my bread and butter. This is the thing that I'm going to be doing regardless of. Every single day I'm working on this thing. And yeah, that's what sometimes you've got to realize. In order to get what I want, I have to be able to put some things down. I'm gonna have to sacrifice my sleep. I might have to sacrifice sometimes waking up earlier, sometimes having to go to bed earlier because you need to wake up earlier, sometimes saving when you want to spend all that money. It's going to cost you. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's going to cost you. And recognizing that it's going to cost other parts of my life and maybe other parts of my business because I'm focusing on this one thing for now. Yes, that's a problem, but actually, like, in the long run, I know that I need to do it. So what's one thing that you think, actually, I haven't done this and the year's over and I said I was going to do it? What's one thing that's been on your vision board that you have not touched, or maybe you started it at the beginning of the year and haven't done anything with it? I looked at my vision board before my birthday and I was like, there are some things on there that I have not even looked at. And that's because I've had to pivot a few times, but actually it would be really important and really great for me to do. And actually some things on my vision board were just not a priority anymore, and that's okay. Sometimes we set things because we think this is the direction that we want to go in, but actually as life unfolds and things, you realize that's not the direction, and sometimes that's okay. So I prioritized and re-planned and re-strategized, and my focus was this thing that I need to do and this thing that I'm working on. I had to make time for it in my day, in my calendar, in my lifestyle, because there's no point having this goal of, let's say, wanting to lose 10 kg, but you have no time to work out, you've got no time to go to the gym, you've got no time to meal prep, you've got no time to exercise, and then you have this goal, and when it doesn't happen, you're disappointed. Well, because your life doesn't cater for this dream that's in your head. Same as you want to start a business, but you've done absolutely nothing the whole year that is moving you forward to starting a business, because you just haven't created the time and you haven't created the systems and the structure to get you closer to this thing that you want to do. And that's a form of delusion that we have sometimes. We've got these visions and these dreams and these ideas of what we want, but we don't have space for it. We don't have the capacity for it. We don't have the availability. Sometimes it's emotionally, sometimes it's physically, sometimes it's in our time, sometimes we just don't have the capacity to do it. So you have to make capacity. You have to make space and make room for what it is that you want. When my husband and I decided that we wanted to have our first baby, we literally created a room. Like, I started buying things for my baby before we even had a baby. Why? Because we were making room. Like, I started eating like a pregnant person, not eating for two, but like being very conscious about what I was putting in my body. I started just like thinking and saving and buying things. Like, we were a family of 3 already. I was making capacity and creating room for this human being that was going to be in our lives even before the baby came. And let me tell you, the way I prepped, I started buying nappies and wipes when I was pregnant. I bought so much that for like a good 1.5 to 2 years, we did not need nappies and Pampers for my household, because I had made space for this baby. I was like, we are having this baby. I've created space. And you just have to sometimes make space for the thing that you want. Get rid of the old and bring in the new. You want to start reading more? Make space for a bookshelf in your house. Start buying books and actually like create space or time in your calendar and in your day to read. If you know that you sit down and have a cup of tea in the morning, have a book by your table. You are making space for this habit, for this thing that you want to do. If you know you want to save more, have a savings account and like actually like every month put money in the savings. You are making space and creating space for the thing that you want. So that was the first thing that I did. The second thing, I realized that I need to be disciplined. And I don't like the D word. I don't like the word discipline. And funnily enough, this is my word, or this is the word that I had put for 2025, was discipline. And discipline is getting out of your feelings and doing the things that you said you were going to do, regardless of how you feel. It's showing up day in, day out, regardless of what your mood is like. Regardless, you follow the plan and not the mood. So realizing that I was going to have to be disciplined and actually put down the things that I said I need to put down, and actually just focusing on this one thing instead of focusing and thriving on multiple different things. And as I said earlier, I find this very boring. Like, I find doing one thing extremely like monotonous and mundane, but discipline really is doing the same thing over and over and over again in order to establish our habits, in order to establish a routine, and in order to just make it part of your day-to-day life. So for example, one of the things I did, or I said in the new year, was establishing the habit of walking 10,000 steps. Now, bearing in mind, I have not consistently walked 10,000 steps since the month of January. And like I said, this is just one of the smaller goals that I was going to do, which was walking 10k steps. I got some sticky notes and put day 1, October, and I put the sticky notes every single day for 31 days, because I was like, this is a goal that I'm going to do. And in order for it to stick, I just need to follow the plan and not my mood. And that means not waking up one day and realizing, actually, I don't want to walk, or it's raining outside. I am going to walk 10,000 steps no matter what, come rain, come thunder. So I need to put it in as part of my lifestyle, as part of my day, because this is just a non-negotiable. And I really had to change my mindset on how I thought about walking. This is a non-negotiable. This is something that I'm going to do. I don't care how I feel. I don't care what's going on in my mind. I don't care what's going on in my body. I'm going to walk 10,000 steps, and I'm going to put that. It takes roughly about an hour, 20 minutes, an hour and a half. I am going to make time for that hour and a half in my day for me to walk. And I've been consistently doing it. It's day 13 or 14 or whatever day it is now. And I have consistently been doing it despite me not being able to do it before, because it wasn't before, it was optional. Whereas now I was like, this is a non-negotiable. Like, this is a non-negotiable. This is something that I'm actively putting in my day. So I created space and I created time in my day just to walk. So this is waking up earlier to get some steps in. This is going 4 steps during my lunch break, and this is going for an evening on my walking pad. Maybe whilst I'm watching EastEnders or something, I go on my walking pad and I just finish off my steps. Right now, it's 8 p.m. as I'm recording this, and I'm on 8,100 steps. I will get those steps in. And sometimes it's 11:30 and I'm like walking on my pad, or I'm walking around in my house. But because I've said this is the thing that I'm going to do, I will do it, and I have been doing it. And the more that I've been doing it, the more I've been creating a habit out of it, and the easier it gets. The first day was extremely hard. Like, it was so hard. I thought this is going to be so impossible. But the more I told myself, this is non-negotiable. This is something that I have to do. I am building great habits. This is for my health. This is for my mental well-being. The easier it gets. And now I can go for an hour and a half walk and actually just bash out those steps in the morning before I go to work. Simple, consistent. And sometimes all it takes is I go for a 10-minute walk. But the compounding effects are just so helpful. One 10-minute walk here, one 20-minute walk here, one 15-minute walk here, all adds up. And sometimes we have this thing that we have to go all or nothing. We have to go hard or go home. But actually, it's so much easier to break down our goals into smaller, chunkable, more achievable things. And sometimes I would not have the hour and a half to walk, but actually I do have 10 minutes. I can go up and down the stairs. I can park further away at my children's school and actually just walk. I can park further away from the supermarket and just walk. Like, there are certain things that we can do and implement in our lives and in our day-to-day that will help us get closer and to our goals. And sometimes we say we don't have time. Check your screen time. Check how much time you spent on social media today, and then you can tell me whether you don't have time. The truth is, it's not a case of we don't have time. It's a case of I don't have my priorities put together. I don't have my priorities straight. Or actually just being like, I don't want this bad enough. I say I want it, but I don't want it bad enough. And sometimes we just have to be honest with ourselves. And that was me when I was going through and realized that I hadn't achieved this goal. It wasn't a priority. And if I'm being perfectly honest, it wasn't a priority and I didn't want it bad enough. And it was like, nah, I'll get it done whenever. And then I realized I hadn't. And then I was like, oh, but this is so important to me. But if it was, I would have made time for it. So you can't say I don't have the time. There are things that you can do on a daily basis that will compound your efforts and help you and build momentum to get you where you want to be. It might not be you don't have 3 hours in the day. You don't need 3 hours in the day. You've got 10 minutes. In those 10 minutes, what can you do? My husband knows I'm like the queen, like the absolute queen of efficiency. Whilst I'm making dinner, I'm like unloading the dishwasher. I've got 10 minutes. My food is like, I don't know, my pasta's like boiling or something. I will unload the dishwasher, put the new dishes in, quickly wipe the surfaces, maybe put a bit of laundry on. I'm maximizing my time. And sometimes we don't maximize our time because you think, oh, I need an hour to clean. Well, actually, you've got 10 minutes right now. Instead of spending 10 minutes scrolling through your phone, how about you do the thing that you need to do that will help you get 10 minutes closer to your goal? So discipline is doing things that you said you were going to do. How many times have we written down that we're going to do something and we don't do it? We're not disciplined. We don't want it bad enough. That's the truth. If you're like me, who was feeling discouraged, feeling demotivated, feeling deflated, and just feeling like, what's the point? I haven't achieved my goals. I don't know what I'm doing, or I haven't got to where I want to go. The year's nearly ending. I'm not on track. You can recover. You can salvage the moment. The year is not over, and you can absolutely make massive strides. We've got 2.5 months left, or whenever you're watching this, maybe you're watching this in the future, you still have time. If you've got breath in your lungs, you have time. When you finish this video, just really sit down and take an inventory of how are you spending your days. Like, just write down, even today, what have you done in your day? Could you have found pockets in your time where you could have done something? You could have moved towards, I don't know, if you want to be healthier, you could have woken up 10 minutes earlier, woken up 20 minutes earlier and done the thing. Or maybe you want to go back to school, start looking at applications. If you want to go out on dates with your husband or with your wife, like actively start booking places and start prioritizing it small steps. It doesn't have to be anything big, really, really small steps. I'm seeing so much progress in focus, in not overwhelming myself with a lot of different things, but just focus on one thing. Pick your one thing for the month. Like me, my step goal is for the month is getting 10,000 steps daily. I have been doing that very consistently because that's my one thing. 10K steps for my fitness, non-negotiable. Pick your one thing, understand your why, and really just focus on it. And the more you do that, the more money you'll have in the bank. Think about it as like your deposit. You're putting deposits in your savings account. You're depositing money in the bank. Through your 10 minutes, you're depositing £10. You've got 5 minutes, you're depositing £5. You've got 50 minutes, you're depositing £50. And before you know it, you will look in your bank of fitness or your bank of relationship or your bank of business, and you'll realize that you are quite rich, like because you've been making small deposits in it every single day. You're not going to have automatically this thousands of hours to do it, but you do have small pockets of time. And how are you using those? So I look forward to hearing from you what you're going to do. It's not over. And I will keep saying it. It's not over. You can start again. You can acknowledge the frustration and the disappointment. You can shake it off. You can pray about it. Just like really surrendering that to God and be like, okay, I acknowledge that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I acknowledge that I've gone so far off track. I acknowledge that I'm just not where I need to be right now. And I am ready to move forward on your path, in your direction, with your help. And I really do ask God every day, like, oh God, help me with this. Like, help me be focused, help me be disciplined, help me to not lose focus or to pick up many things, but really just be focused on this one thing. And he really shows up above and beyond every single time. So if he can do it for me, he can do it for you. If this video has been helpful, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.